Hi, Deacon Ed McCormick here at St. John the Baptist Catholic Community, and today I want to speak to you about my top 5 insights into the meaning of the Beatitudes, specifically Luke's version of the Beatitudes. This morning at Mass we heard them, and you're familiar with them. Blessed are the poor, blessed are those who hunger, those who mourn, blessed are those who are persecuted, and woe to you who are rich, well-fed, happy, and are praised. There's a lot of confusion around the meaning of these Beatitudes. For one, they sometimes seem impossible, only holy people could do them. Others think that the blessings of the Beatitudes only come when we are in heaven, which of course is not what they're about, because Jesus is announcing that the kingdom of God is coming now on earth here. But probably the worst misunderstanding is the assumption that when Jesus says, blessed are the poor, that he's saying it's a good thing to be poor. Or when he says, blessed are the hungry, or blessed are those who are mourning, that it's somehow a good thing to be hungry or mourning, when in fact Jesus is going about his ministry trying to alleviate these conditions. So here are my top 5 insights for understanding the Beatitudes. Number 1, you can only understand the Beatitudes if you remember that everything Jesus says and does is about the coming of God's kingdom on earth. Jesus announces the coming of God's kingdom, the arrival of the kingdom in Galilee, and he goes about the villages of Galilee, healing people, feeding the hungry, exorcising demons, gathering disciples. All of these are actions that indicate that he is the agent through which God's kingdom is coming. Here's the second insight. The Beatitudes have to be understood in terms of the conviction that Jesus and all his contemporaries had, that the world is divided into 2 ages. History is divided into 2 ages, the present age and the future age. And the present age is awful. There's suffering and death, Roman taxes, brutality, a division among God's people. People are hungry. People are mourning. There are lots of poor people because the Roman taxation system is driving people into poverty. It's taking away their land. And that's the present age. But the people of God believe there would be a future age where God would act to free God's people from this present age, to create a new age in which God would be king. And the Beatitudes contain insights into the present age. In the present age, those people who are suffering under the present age are the poor, the hungry, those who mourn, those who are persecuted. Meanwhile, the people who are benefiting from the present age and promoting it are the wealthy, those who are well-fed, those who are treated well and considered honored. And so when Jesus announces the Beatitudes, he is announcing that God's kingdom is coming. And this is going to be a blessing for those who are suffering under the present age, and it will mean judgment for those who are promoting the present age. And this takes me to my third point. The Beatitudes signify what happens when God's kingdom arrives. And when it arrives, as it is coming through Jesus, hearts are changed. People's attitudes are changed, and all of a sudden people are going to act on behalf of the poor. They're going to feed the hungry as Jesus did. They're going to comfort the mourning. At the same time, the coming of God's kingdom means that there is regime change, that the present kingdom, the present empire is being overthrown. Whether it's the Roman Empire or any other, any empire, any world structure that causes people to be poor and hungry and to mourn is being overthrown because God is becoming king through Jesus, who is king. And this takes me to my fourth point. There are two versions of the Beatitudes. You will find them in Matthew's Gospel and in Luke's Gospel. And there are some differences. In Matthew's Gospel, Jesus announces the Beatitudes on a mountain. In Luke's Gospel, he does it on a flat plain. And there are other differences. For instance, Luke says, "Blessed are the poor." In Matthew, it's "Blessed are the poor in spirit." Matthew also says, "Blessed are the pure of heart. Blessed are the peacemakers." So there are some differences. And you don't hear these in Mark's Gospel. Paul says nothing about them. Neither does John's Gospel. Now, some of the reasons that there are differences. Undoubtedly, Jesus didn't just speak the Beatitudes twice. I'm sure that he went from village to village announcing these Beatitudes many times, just as he often would retell his parables. So let me conclude with my fifth point, and it has to do with our task. Because as Jesus' disciples, as those who live under the kingdom of Jesus, who are servants of King Jesus, we have to allow the Spirit of God to open our hearts and minds so that we cooperate with the coming kingdom, and therefore work to help the poor, to feed the hungry, to comfort those who are mourning, to support those who are being persecuted. And if we are wealthy, if we are rich, if we are well fed, if we do enjoy a life of laughter and joy, we don't have to become poor, but we have to allow the Spirit of God to fill us so that we cooperate with Jesus' kingdom, as many people who were wealthy at Jesus' time and during the times of the early church did. So I hope these points give you deeper insight into the meaning and significance of the Beatitudes. See you next time.